An AI risk register turns vague worries into tracked items with owners, treatments, and residual risk. This AiQualtest episode gives product, engineering, risk, and quality teams a practical, vendor-neutral playbook for AI risk register basics in 2026. Use a simple operating loop: identify, rate, treat, and review. That loop keeps conversations concrete when stakeholders disagree about quality or risk. Why this matters: governance fails when risks live in slide decks. Registers create operational memory across releases and vendors. They connect testing evidence to enterprise risk management. Enterprises shipping AI into banking, insurance, healthcare, and digital operations cannot rely on hallway demos. Buyers, auditors, and internal second-line risk partners ask for repeatable methods, version artifacts, and clear ownership. If you cannot explain how you tested and what evidence you keep, you do not have AI quality, you have optimism. Core concepts come next. Do not memorize jargon, operationalize each idea into cases, metrics, and gates. Concept 1: Risk identification. Capture hazards across safety, fairness, security, privacy, and operational failure. Include misuse. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 2: Rating method. Score likelihood and impact with a shared scale. Calibrate across teams. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 3: Treatments. Record mitigations, tests, monitoring, human review, or scope limits. Link to evidence. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 4: Residual risk. State what remains after treatment and who accepts it. Silence is not acceptance. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 5: Review cadence. Revisit on release, incident, and schedule. Stale registers deceive. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 6: Traceability. Link risks to systems, datasets, and eval packs. Enable audits and debugging. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Here is a real-world pattern. Setting: regional healthcare network deploying multiple clinical AI assistants. Risks were scattered across emails until a unified register listed PHI leakage and incorrect triage advice as top items. Treatments linked to red team packs and human escalation SLAs. Residual risk acceptance was recorded by clinical leadership. A later incident investigation started from the register and closed faster. Notice the pattern: define scope, run controlled tests, capture evidence, decide with named owners, and feed failures back into the next cycle. That is how AI quality becomes a system property, not a slide. Common mistakes slow mature programs. Mistake 1: Keeping risks only in presentation slides. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 2: Listing risks without owners or treatments. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 3: Never recording residual risk acceptance. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 4: Failing to review after model or scope changes. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. The antidote is discipline, small goal sets, explicit thresholds, change control, and monitoring that connects production incidents back to evaluation suites. Key takeaways for your team. Takeaway 1: Operationalize AI risks in a living register. Takeaway 2: Rate, treat, and record residual acceptance. Takeaway 3: Link risks to tests and monitoring. Takeaway 4: Review on cadence and after changes. Write these into your team wiki and release checklist so they survive staffing changes. Your next steps this week: create or update an AI risk register with owners for your top 5 hazards. Then, link each top risk to at least one eval pack or monitoring control. Keep the artifacts, prompts, datasets, scores, approvals so you can defend the decision later. Where this fits the AiQualtest method, learn the foundations with AiVELabs, practice with hands-on cases, and validate with governed evaluation evidence. Visit aiqualtest.com and learn.aiqualtest.com. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for weekly AI quality, evaluation, and governance episodes. Additional depth for practitioners. Treat AI risk register basics as a controlled experiment. Version the inputs, freeze the environment where possible, record who approved exceptions, and rerun after every material change, model upgrade, prompt edit, retrieval index refresh, or tool permission change. Pair quality metrics with latency, cost, and safety signals so trade-offs are visible to product owners. When results regress, open an incident-style review even if the feature still looks fine in a demo. Governed teams prefer boring, evidence-backed releases over surprising wins that cannot be reproduced.